Asma Khan, you are the chef behind Darjeeling Express. You are also the star of an important series of Chef's Table. Welcome to my Capotavola. I want to tell you, I understand that your story isn't that of a child who grew up by the stove, learning her mother's or grandmother's culinary secrets. Is that correct?
Yes.
But what was your family like?
My personal family, my father and my mother, they treated me equally to my brother, to my sister, but not the rest of the family. The thing is that in many cultures, the girl that is fair, that is slim and very long, beautiful hair, everybody loves. I was fat, I was very dark, I loved to play cricket the whole day, and my grandmother used to tell me, "You are so dark and you are not pretty. Nobody will marry you. Don't go and play in the sun." So my family life was beautiful. My mother and father loved me a lot. But when I stepped out of my house, I felt unloved, unwanted, and not good enough. But the big thing was that my parents made me feel so special. But more than my parents, and I want to say this, I want people to understand this, especially women. You know, that's why I love you so much, because you pick up other women. My sister, who was the princess, everybody loved her. She's so beautiful. She looks 10 years younger than me now. She used to hold my hand and say, "You are the warrior princess. The whole world will know who you are and they will bend down to you. Don't listen to them." This made me feel so powerful because she was powerful. She was picking me up. And it matters when you're small. So my family life, personal life in the house was very happy. But outside was complicated.
Did you know why your grandmother told you these things? Because for a child, no, for a human child, is not so good.
Yeah, because you don't. Because when you know, people like your grandmother, older people in the family, your neighbors, you look up. They are adults. You're a child, so you think whatever they say is true. That is the problem. I always felt I was going to do something in my life. I always imagined the whole world would know my name. I imagined that my name would be in lights, that I will be powerful and I will make a difference and I will do something for other people and make a difference to other women. I always wanted to do that. But all these voices around, I don't know. I mean, she's dead. And I cannot ask her, because by the time I was powerful, she was gone. I would have asked her. People don't understand. Be very careful what you tell children. Be very careful what you tell your daughter and your sister. Be very careful, because they will carry that like I carry scars on my heart.
Still now?
Yes.
How do you feel now?
I'm okay. I have moved on. But the scars, I know. I feel them. I can be as famous, as rich, as well known, it doesn't matter. These scars don't go away.
Asma, who sat at the head of the table in your family?
In my own family?
Yeah.
My mother never had a table. She had a round table. She always said she didn't want the head of the table. She's an incredible woman, and even now, I'm always amazed. But she had this great sense of justice, because she was never loved. She was never valued. She was the dark daughter. And my mother knows the damage that happens when people make you feel that you're not the same or not loved. We had a round table. But in my grandfather's house, it was always my grandfather. My grandfather, the eldest male, not just the eldest male, these two also men. Men, men, men. So it was always my grandfather or my older uncle, always man. I never seen a woman at the head of the table.
And you?
And now I am sitting here and talking to you as head of the table. And I think that this is important, because in my culture, it's not just who's sitting at the head of the table, who is getting the best food. Women eat last, girls eat least. My food is patriarchy. We make hot rotis, we serve hot rice. We don't have a loaf of bread that they bring to the table that people will cut. Bread is made one at a time. Who is making the bread?
Who is making?
Women. The woman, the mother, the daughter-in-law is making the food one bread at a time. Hot bread will come to the head of the table first, then there, then there.
Also in Italy, also in my family, also in South Italy, women prepare the food and men at the table eat.
Yes.
Now it's changing a lot.
But it's not changing so much in India.
But also in the world it's not changing.
And the thing is that in every society where the man was going out to work in the field and coming back, the woman would give the food because he's out of the house the whole day. But today, where is the man going to work in the field? He's not in the sun the whole day. But we still feed them like they are the head of the table, and woman has done no work whole day, only made food. Today, women are going to work, they have a job, still they come back and they serve. I have friends who are investment bankers, who are working in the city of London, will go back and make roti and serve them. Yes.
Still now?
Still now.
When did you decide to start with your new life, with the supper club, no? Everything started with a supper club.
Yes.
In your house. Why?
It's not that I wanted to cook. I wanted to feed. I wanted to bring my family food to the table and serve people and watch them eat. That made me very happy. I love to see people eat. And 10 years ago, you didn't see someone like me in a restaurant. You didn't see chefs like me who were not trained. So I didn't dream I could open a restaurant. So I fed people in my house because I'm a housewife, I'm a home cook. So I start from home. And that is where I began.
With your friends?
Yeah, with my friends and my neighbors, many of them Italian and French.
Yeah?
Yes. And that was so nice because they would come, so not more Indians, mainly Italian and French, and they loved the food. These are cultures that love food.
French,
yeah,
also.
Yeah. They, what is this? I want to know this.
All women?
And no. In the beginning, only women.
Okay.
Then they started coming with their partners and friends. It was a strange idea to go to someone's house. You don't know.
No, it's very common in other countries.
But I think in London, people was like,
yes,
you go to someone's house.
Yes.
It was now it's okay. Everybody would love to go to someone's house. But then nobody did.
And you become famous with these supper clubs.
I was, yes, it was.
Yeah, a little bit famous.
Yes, a little bit famous, yes.
And then you decided to open a restaurant.
Yes.
Do you remember your husband, the reaction of your husband when you communicate, yes, I want to open a restaurant? Your husband is a professor, no?
Yes, he's a professor. He was saying, don't do this, because you want to help women, you are interested in empowering women, you stay as a lawyer. Yeah. You can help women through law. He is right. At that time, Nobody was using food to talk about politics, to talk about empowerment of women. Nobody. Even now, I am one of the few women who's running a restaurant and talking about female empowerment. And he was, you're not going to become anything. You stay as a lawyer, you will be successful, you will make a difference to people's lives. But I wanted to cook. But even I didn't think that my little world, my kitchen, I will empower women in my kitchen, that it would become a big story. That was the chef's table. They came into my kitchen, they told my story to the world.
Through your kitchen?
Yes. But I did the kitchen thinking, you know, you have to start. You throw the stone into the river. The first ripple, then the ripple will come. I was throwing that stone into the water to start the movement of the water.
Because your restaurant, or now your story in Italy is more famous because we wrote about you and also other newspapers, but your restaurant is special because you decide to help other women. And I want that you tell the story, because you decide to put other women to cook in your restaurant. Why? And which kind of women?
Well, most of them were women whose family was in India or Nepal, somewhere else. They were alone, they were earning money, they were in physically difficult situations. And many of them suffered from childhood as little girls. Physical abuse, sexual abuse. And I would always feel, you do not need to sell your body. You can sell food. Your hands should only touch what you want to touch. And you should cook with your hands. Do not let someone hold you like that and make you do something. I couldn't take it. And I used to know that these women had very difficult lives. And I wanted them to be free. It isn't good enough that I am free. I need to break the chains of women around me. If I see a woman in chains, I am not free. How am I free? Because I am powerful. I am free. I go set her free. This is why I started. I really was trying to help these women understand that you are so beautiful, you are so strong. And also, many of them were older. They felt defeated. They are in their 50s and 60s, and they felt, now nothing good will happen in my life. And I said, now the story starts. You will come into the kitchen, and I don't know where we are going, but we are going on a journey. And beautiful things will happen. This is not how your life will end. This is not the end of your story. Your story is starting. And yeah, their story started, and they're all famous in their village. People recognize them on the tube. Oh, they're loving it. They're so happy.
Listen, Asma, who sits at your head table?
In my house?
In your mind, the ideal person who has to sit at your head of the table.
My mother. My mother. Because she believed in me. She loved me. Her whole life she suffered because she was not loved by her mother or her father. She was loved by an aunt and an uncle. But my mother never was seen as helpful. And of all my mother's sisters, there are 5 sisters, my mother is a great cook because she always tried to help others so that they would like her, I think. She knits, she stitches, she makes clothes for everybody. She is always in the hospital, anyone's sick. Any problem, my mother's there. I think the whole life she spent trying to make people feel she was required in the family. Because she knew emotionally she was not. So I would put her on the head of my table because I want her to understand. I wrote a cookbook in her name because whatever I do, it's not enough. Because what she did for me, it's not that she gave birth to me. She showed me how to live. By her own example, she showed me that when the storm comes, you bend but you do not break. You will get up when the sun comes out again. So it's not, everybody now knows me when I'm famous. No one knew me when I was defeated, when I failed. But my mother showed me and would always tell me, you will rise like the sun and light the whole world up. And this gave me so much hope.
You had made an irreparable mistake in your life. What is a mistake that you say now?
I think for too long, I tried to make everybody like me. I was doing what my mother did. I was taking care of people, always going first, putting my name, I'll do it, I'll do it. Because I wanted everyone to think, oh yes, she's a good girl. Because I knew that I was not beautiful. And
what is beauty for you?
This is the problem. In our society, in India, beauty is only about the skin.
The skin.
Skin, your body shape, your hair,
yeah.
your clothes. And they would tell me this, but I, inside, felt like a princess. I was. In my heart, I was the most powerful, always winning, doing great things.
And you are.
But I believed that. It's like, you hold a rope when everything is knocking you down. That my mother and sister made me feel that I was going to be incredible, that I was beautiful, that I was like. But everybody else would tell me different things. But then I thought, no, because my sister and my mother believe in me. I also have to. My husband is, you met him. He doesn't talk. He's an academic. He's a professor. You tried to convince him to do an interview. He was not good. He's not even in Chef's Table. Everyone on Netflix, like, please, one scene, one
Yes,
thing.
I know.
But I think, actually, he must think I'm very beautiful. He must care for me a lot because he does not interfere. He didn't want to...
Perhaps we need to listen these words, perhaps sometimes, no?
Yes.
Perhaps the problem is that sometimes your husband, your man, your partner has to say, you are beautiful.
Yes, yes.
We must say.
I'll go back and tell him.
Yes,
you have to tell me. No, I don't think he tells me this. But the thing is that he let me go. He let me, once I was like, I really want to open a restaurant, he didn't interfere. He didn't helicopter over me, like, oh, I tell you this, I tell you that, I'm professor in economics, I know. Not once. Even in COVID.
Perhaps it is his way to love you.
It could be his way to love me. Although sometimes, I see in films, so romantic.
I know.
Oh, I think, I think, why it not happen to me? Ever. I want someone to be so romantic to me. It's not in my kismat. I mean, I run a restaurant, I become famous, I'm on Netflix, but no romance in my life. But you can't get everything. Yeah.
This is a problem. We have to change this thing.
I need to send to Italy.
Right? Yes.
But you can't have everything. You can't have everything. You can't have power and success and the sense of great achievement, all these women working around.
You can't have, but you can try to have.
Yeah, but sometimes I feel, I want someone to be very romantic, very loving to me.
Robert Redford.
I'd take any of them, but yes, Robert Redford, yes, I would, but it's just, you don't get everything.
Yes, I understand completely.
Yeah.
Listen, what is the flavor you truly can't stand, if there is one?
Oh yeah, I can't stand bitter things. We have lots of vegetables in India that are bitter. Oh my God, bitter gourd. I don't like bitter things. No. Nothing. I really hate.
And what is your secret ingredient, that unique touch, that makes you who you are in your food?
Strange thing, but it's actually, I don't use chili powder. Most people don't know that. I use full, very spicy dried chili.
I know, because I saw them in your restaurant.
Yeah, and we roast the meat in that. And that's my secret, that's my personal touch. So when the meat is cooking, the chili, oils of the chili go in layering. So it's not that it's burning your lips or your tongue. It's throughout the whole thing. It's so delicate, but the chili is there. Chili is just one spice in that dish. You've got to make sure that it's so beautiful. So people say it's spicy, but it's not burning. That's that thing. So it's the way I use dried red chilies, but I don't break it. If you break it, you're dead, because all the seed will come out.
To cut.
No, we leave it with the stem on.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, all the, because it's the inside of the chili that's where the spice is, where all the chemicals are. So we don't break it.
I can say hours to listen you about spices and foods, and you have a poetry.
I'm very passionate. I want people to understand that, by adding full chili, dried chili in your dish, you will transform your dish, totally. And cumin as well, roast it, use it. But the most important thing is this, your fingers. Touch your spices, feel them, and
touch also your foods.
Yeah,
when you cook.
Yes. Please,
it's sensual.
It is very, very important, and I know hygiene and all of this. Wash your hands, then touch the food. Wash your hand again. But don't use cutlery and, I'm stirring this.
Yeah.
Use your hands, because that's where you really know what something feels like. It's very important.
And thank you very much for being at Capotavola, at the head of the table with me.
Thank you very
Asma
much.
Khan.
Thank you.